the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Where the place?
Upon the heath.
There to meet with Macbeth.
Fair is foul.
And foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt, the newest state.
This is the sergeant who, like a good and hardy soldier, fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend! Say to the king the knowledge of the broil, as that is leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the Western Isles, of kerns and colour glasses is supplied. And fortune, on his damned quarrel smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak. For brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution, like Valor's minion, carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands, nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chops, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
O valiant cousin, worthy gentleman!
Mark, King of Scotland, Mark, no sooner justice had, with valour armed, compelled these skipping kerns to trust their heels, but the Norwegian lord, surveying vantage with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismayed not this our captains, Macbeth and Banquo?
Yes, as sparrows, eagles, or the hare, the lion. If I say sooth, I must report they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks. So they doubly redoubled strokes upon the foe, except they meant to bathe in reeking wounds or memorize another Golgotha. I cannot tell, but I am faint. My gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds. They smack of honour both. Go, get him surgeons. Oh, who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross.
What a haste looks through his eyes. So should he look that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
And whence came thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself, with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor, the Thane of Cawdor, began a dismal conflict, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Great happiness. No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go, pronounce his present death, and with his former title, greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou?
A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Have I bewitched? The red runyon cries. Her husband's to Aleppo gone, master of the tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do. I'll
I'll give thee a wind.
That kind.
And I another.
I myself have all the other, and the very ports they blow, all the quarters that they know in the shipman's card. I'll drain him dry as hay. Sleep shall neither night nor day hang upon his penthouse lid.
He shall live a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine. Though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here, I have a pilot's thumb, racked as homeward he did come.
A drum, Macbeth doth come. Peace, the charm's wound up.
So foul and fair a day I've not seen.
How far is it called to Forres? What are these? So withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on it. Live you? Or are you aught that man may question?
Well, speak if you can. What are you?
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail, Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail, Macbeth. Thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems rapt withal. To me you speak not.
Hail,
Hail,
Hail.
lesser than Macbeth, and greater.
not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail, Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail.
What? Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why, upon this blasted heath, you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
Whither are they vanished?
Into the air. And what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they'd stayed?
Were such things here as we do speak about?
Your children shall be kings.
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too. Yet went it not so?
To the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' flight, his wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, and for an earnest of a greater honour, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor. In which addition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who was the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Oh, thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told. as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. Oh, I thank you, gentlemen. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why has it given me earnest of success commencing in a truth? But I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth unfix my hair and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not. If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir. Come what come may, time and the hour runs through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Oh, give me your favour. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Oh, kind gentlemen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what has chanced, and at more time, the interim having weighed it, let us speak our free hearts, each to other.
Very gladly.
Till then, enough. Come, friends.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
Ah, my liege, they are not yet come back. But I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it.
O worthiest cousin, welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee, and will labour to make thee full of growing. Noble Banquo, that hast no less deserved, nor must be known, no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart. Sons, kinsmen, thanes, we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honour must not unaccompanied invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers from hence to Inverness and bind us further to you.
The rest is labour which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
Am I worthy, Cawdor?
The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfect's report they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves air, into which they vanished. Whilst I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me, and referred me to the coming on of time with "Hail, King that shalt be." This have I thought good to deliver thee, my dearest partner of greatness, that thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily. Wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou wouldst have great Glamis, that which cries, "Thus thou must do if thou have it," and that which rather thou dost fear to do than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valour of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou art mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who wert so would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true. Our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, and stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife sees not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blankets of the dark to cry, "Hold, hold." Great Glamis, worthy Cawdor, greater than both, by the all-hail hereafter. Your letters have transported me beyond the ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your hand, your eye, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favour ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting martlet, does approve by his loved mansionry that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here.
Ah, see, our honoured hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which still we thank as love.
All our service, in every point twice done and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honours deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath helped him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in compt to make their audit at your highness' pleasure, still to return your own.
By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here, but here, upon this bank and shoal of time, we'd jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued, against the deep damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked new-born babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. But he hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk, wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time, such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valour as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage.
Oh, prithee, peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was't then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now doth unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail! But screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched nature lies as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamour roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
A heavy summons lies like lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers, restrain in me the cursed thoughts that nature gives way to in repose. Who's there?
A friend?
What, sir? Not yet at rest? The king's abed? He hath been in unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the 3 weird sisters. To you they have showed some truth.
I think not of them. Yet, when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some time upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent when 'tis, it shall make honour for you. Is this a dagger that I see before me? The handle towards my hand? Well, come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision sensible to feeling as to sight, or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Oh, there's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, o'er the one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Thou, sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear the very stones prate of my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Peace. It was the owl shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores. I have drugged their possets, that death and nature do contend about them, whether they live or die.
Who's there? What? Huh?
Alack, I am afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. They tempt, and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I laid their daggers ready, he could not miss 'em. My husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did you not speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
Ah, this is a sorry sight.
Ah, a foolish thought to say, a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in sleep, and one cried murder, that they did wake each other. I stood and heard them, but they did say their prayers, and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, God bless us, and Amen, the other, as they'd seen me with these hangman's hands, listening their fear.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more. Macbeth doth murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the ravelled sleeve of care, the death of each day's life, sore labour's bath, balm of hurt minds, great nature's second course, chief nourisher of life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still it cried, sleep no more. To all the house great Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it that thus cried? Why, sir, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Oh, why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleepy grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I've done. Look on't again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If you do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Ah! Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? Oh, what hands are here? Ah, they pluck out mine eyes. Will all Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand?
My hands are of your colour, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear a knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy 'tis then. Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Awake, Duncan, with thy knocking! I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. Oh, if a man were Potter of Hellgate, you should have all turning the key. No, who's there in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself in the expectation of plenty. Come in time. Have napkins enough about you, you'll sweat for it. Who's there in the other devil's name? Here is an equivocator that could swear with both the scales against each scale. Who committed treason, enough for God's sake, that could not equivocate his way to heaven. Come in, equivocator. Oh, no. Who's there? Here is an English tailor, come hither for stealing out of a French hose. Come in, tailor, you may roast your goose here. Oh, never that quiet. What are you? Oh, boy, but this place is too cold for hell. I am therefore put no further. Well, I have thought to have let in some of all professions that go the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire. Anon. I pray you, remember the porter.
Was it so late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Oh, faith. Whoa, we were carousing till the second cock. And drink, sir, it's a great provoker of thee. 3 things.
What 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Oh, marry, sir, nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, sir. It provokes and it unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but it takes away the performance. Therefore, much drink may be said to be an equivocator with lechery.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awaked him. Here he comes.
Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy Thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely on him. I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labour we delight in, physics, pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, for 'tis my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard in the air, strange screams of death and prophesying, with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched to the woeful time. The obscure bird clamoured the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
Well, what is, do you say, the life?
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See, and then speak yourselves. Awake! Awake! Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake! Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself.
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of the house? Speak, speak.
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition in a woman's ear would murder as it fell. Banquo, Banquo, our royal masters murdered.
Woe! Alas, what in our house?
Too cruel anywhere. Dear Duff, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not so.
Had I but died an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
Oh. By whom?
Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done't. Their hands and faces were all bandaged with blood. So were their daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows.
Yet I do repent me of my fury that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
But who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. The expedition of my violent love outran the pauser reason. Why, here lay Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature for ruin's wasteful entrance. There the murderers, steeped in the colours of their trade, their daggers, unmannily, breached with gore. Who could refrain? That had a heart to love, and in that heart, courage to make love's known.
Help me hence, oh.
Look to the lady.
Why do we hold our tongues that Mesmer claim argument for ours?
What should be spoken here, where our fate, hidden in auger hole, may come and seize us? Let's away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
Nor our strong sorrow upon the foot of motion.
Look to the lady. And when we have our naked frailties hid that suffer in exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work, to know it further.
Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. I'll to England.
To Ireland, I. Our separated fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The nearer the blood, the nearer the bloody.
This murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore, to horse. And let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft, which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
70 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Ah, good father, thou seest the heavens as troubled with man's act threatens his bloody stage.
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending gainst obedience as they would make war with mankind. Oh, here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
It's known who did this more than bloody deed.
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Oh, alas the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's 2 sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Against nature still. Or then 'tis most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named, and gone to Scone to be invested.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin. I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, farewell, father.
God's benison go with you, and with those that would make friends of good of bad and friends of foes.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, as the weird women promised. And I fear thou playedst most foully for it. Yet it was said, it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
Let your highness command upon me, to the which my duties are with a most indissoluble tie for ever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
Oh. We should have else desired your good advice in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is't far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill up the time twixt this and supper.
Fail not our feast.
My lord, I will not.
Adieu, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you?
Aye, my good lord. Our time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Our fears in Banquo stick deep. 'Tis much he dares, and to that dauntless temper of his mind he hath a wisdom that doth guide his valour to act in safety. There's none but he whose being I do fear. He chid the sisters when first they put the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then prophet-like they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren sceptre in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for them, the gracious Duncan, have I murdered, put rankers in the vessel of my peace. Only, who's there? Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Yeah, both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life.
We shall, my lord, perform what you command us.
Though our lives...
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you where to plant yourselves, for it must be done tonight, and with him, Fleance his son, that keeps him company, whose absence is no less material to me than is his father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Now resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon.
We are resolved, my lord.
My lord.
I'll call upon you straight. Well, abide within. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died with them they think on. Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself again, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, not steel, nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy, nothing can touch him further.
Come, gentle my lord, sleek o'er your rugged looks, be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I love, and so, I pray, be you. Unsafe the while that we must lave our honours in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizards to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
How full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest Banquo and his Fleance live.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge. dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth.
He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our officers and what we have to do to thee direction just.
Then stand with us.
Hark! I hear horses.
Give us a light there, ho!
Then 'tis he! A light! A light!
'Tis he.
Stand to it.
Will be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Oh, treachery! Fly, fly, good Fleance! Fly, fly! Thou mayest revenge! Oh, slave!
Who did strike out the light?
Who's not the way?
There's but one down. The sun is fled.
The best half of our affair is lost.
Well, let's away and say how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Well, our hostess keeps her state. But in best time, we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir, to all our friends. When my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See, they encounter thee with their hearts' thanks. Whoa, both sides are even. Here, I'll sit in the midst. Well, be large in mirth. Anon we'll drink and measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
'Tis Banquo's then.
What is better thee without than he within? Is he dispatched?
My lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the nonpareil.
Most royal, sir. Fleance is escaped.
Then comes my fit again. But Banquo's safe.
Aye, my lord. Safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 treacherous gashes on his head, the least a death to nature.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. We'll get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer.
Oh, sweet remembrance, sir. Now, good digestion, weight on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness, sit.
Why, here had we now our country's honour roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present, whom I may rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Pleased, your highness, to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
Done what, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Oh, gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one, that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, These flaws and starts, impostors to true fear, would well become a woman's story. To winter's fire, authorised by her grandam. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces when all's done you look but on a stool?
Prithee, see there! Behold, look! Lo, how say you? What care I? If thou canst nod, speak too. Charnel houses and graves must send those that we bury back. Our monuments shall be the moors of kites.
What? Quite unmanned in folly.
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie for shame. My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
Oh, I do forget. Do not muse at me, my worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Well, come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine, fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here. To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt! And quit my sight, let the earth hide thee. Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold, thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good peers, but as a thing of custom, 'tis no other. Only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare I dare? Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the armed rhinoceros, or the Hyrcan tiger. Take any shape but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Hence, horrible shadow, unreal mockery, hence! Oh, why? Being gone, I am a man again. Oh, pray you. Sit still!
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, where mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night and better health attend his majesty.
Kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies, and choughs and rooks brought forth the secretest man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
Oh, I heard it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them, but in his house I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will, to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst. For mine own good all causes shall give way. I am in blood stepped in so far that should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, we'll to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
Thrice the brinded cat hath mewed.
Thrice and once the hedge pig whined.
Harpier cries, "'Tis time, 'tis time."
Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble.
By the pricking of my thumbs, something wicked this way comes. Open, locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret, black and midnight hags, what is't you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you by that which you profess, howe'er you come to know it, answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, answer me to what I ask you.
We know thy thought.
Hear our speech.
But say thou naught.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth. Beware Macduff. Beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me, enough.
Whate'er thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou'st harped my fear aright. But one word more.
We will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of women born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder.
Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be, until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest? Bid the tree unfix his earthbound root. Oh, sweet bodements, good. Our rebellious dead rise never till the wood of Birnam rise, and our high-placed Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath to time and mortal custom. Yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall Banquo's issue ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this, and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know.
Show.
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 Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown does sear my eyeballs, and thy hair, thou other gold-browned bough, is like the first. The third is like the former. Oh, filthy hags, why do you show me this? Now, I see 'tis true, for the blood-boltered Banquo smiles upon them and points at them for his. What? Is this so?
Aye, sir, all this is so. But why stands Macbeth thus amazedly? Come, sisters, cheer we up his sprites, and show the best of our delights. I'll charm the air to give a sound, while you perform your antic round, that this great king may kindly say, our duties did his welcome pay.
Where are they? Gone? Oh, let this pernicious hour stand I accursed in the calendar. Come in! Without there!
What's your grace's will?
Saw you the weird sisters?
No, my lord.
Came they not by you?
No, indeed, my lord.
Ah, infected be the air whereon they ride, and damned all those that trust them. I did hear the galloping of horse. Who was't came by?
'Tis 2 or 3, my lord, that bring you word. Macduff is fled to England.
Fled to England?
Aye, my good lord.
Oh, time, thou anticipatest my dread exploits. The flighty purpose never is o'ertook, unless the deed go with it. From this moment, the very firstlings of my heart shall be the firstlings of my hand. And even now, to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. The castle of Macduff I will surprise, seize upon Fife, give to the edge of the sword his wife, his babes, and all unfortunate souls that trace him in their line. Where are these gentlemen? Come, bring me to him.
What had he done to make him fly the land?
You must have patience, madam.
He had none. His flight was madness. When our actions do not, our fears do make us traitors.
Well, you know not whether it was his wisdom or his fear.
Wisdom? To leave his wife? To leave his babes? His mansion? And his titles in a place from whence himself does fly? He loves us not. He wants the natural touch.
My dearest coz, I pray you school yourself. But for your husband, he is noble, wise, judicious, and best knows the fits of the season. I'll take my leave of you. Shall not be long, but I'll be here again. My pretty cousin, blessing upon you.
Sirrah, your father's dead. And what will you do now? How will you live?
As birds do, mother.
Poor bird, thou'dst never fear the net nor line, the pitfall nor the gin.
Why should I, mother? Poor birds, they are not set for. My father is not dead, for all you're saying.
Yes, he is dead. How wilt thou do for a father?
Nay, how wilt thou do for a husband?
Why, I can buy me 20 at any market.
Then you'll buy him to sell again.
Thou speakest with all thy wit, yet in faith with wit enough for thee.
Was my father a traitor, mother?
Aye, that he was.
What is a traitor?
Why, one that swears and lies.
And be all traitors that do so?
Everyone that does so is a traitor and must be hanged.
Who must hang them?
Why, the honest men.
Then the liars and swearers are fools, for there are liars and swearers enough to beat the honest men and hang up them.
Now God help thee, poor monkey. But how wilt thou do for a father?
If he were dead, you'd weep for him. If you would not, it were a good sign that I would quickly have a new father.
Poor prattler, how thou talkest.
Bless you, fair dame. I am not to you known, but I doubt some danger does approach you nearly. If you will take a homely man's advice, be not found here. Hence with your little ones. Heaven preserve you. I dare abide no longer.
Whither should I fly? I have done no harm. What are these faces?
Where is your husband?
I hope in no place so unsanctified where such as thou mayst find him.
He's a traitor.
Thou liest, thou shagged villain!
What, you egg? You dirty treachery!
He has killed me, mother! Run away, I pray you!
Murder! Murder!
Let us seek out some desolate shade, and there weep our sad bosoms empty. This tyrant, whose sole name blisters our tongues, was once thought honest. You have loved him well. He hath not touched you yet.
I am not treacherous.
But Macbeth is. A good and virtuous nature may recoil in an imperial charge.
I've lost my hopes.
Perchance, even there where I did find my doubts, why in that rawness left you wife and child? Those precious motives, those strong knots of love without leave taking. I pray you, let not my jealousies be your dishonours, but mine own safeties. You make me rightly just, whatever I shall think.
Lead, poor country. Great tyranny, lay thou thy basest shore, for goodness dare not check thee. Wear thou thy wrongs, the title is afeard. Fare thee well, lord, I would not be the villain that thou think'st.
Be not offended. I speak not as in absolute fear of you. I think our country sinks beneath the yoke. It weeps, it bleeds, and each new day a gash is added to her wounds. I think withal there would be hands uplifted in my right, and here from gracious England have I offer of goodly thousands. But for all this, when I shall tread upon the tyrant's head or wear it on my sword, yet my poor country shall have more vices than it had before, more suffer and more sundry ways than ever by him that shall succeed.
What should he be?
It is myself, I mean, in whom I know. All the particulars of vice so grafted, that when they shall be opened, black Macbeth will seem as pure as snow, and the poor state esteem him as a lamb, being compared with my confineless harms.
Not in the legions of horrid hell can come a devil more damned in evils to top Macbeth.
I grant him bloody, luxurious, avaricious, false, deceitful, sudden, malicious, smacking of every sin that has a name. But were I king, I should cut off the nobles of their lands, desire his jewels and his other's house, and my more having would be as a source to make me hunger more, that I should forge quarrels unjust, the good and loyal, destroying them for wealth.
Yet do not fear. Scotland hath foisons to fill up your will of your mere own. All these are portable, with other graces weighed.
But I have none. The king becoming graces as justice, verity, temperance, stableness, bounty, perseverance, mercy, loneliness, devotion, patience, courage, fortitude. I have no relish of them, but abound in the division of every single crime, acting in many ways. Nay, had I power, I should pour the sweet milk of concord into hell, uproar the universal peace, confound all unity on earth.
Oh, Scotland, Scotland.
If such a one be fit to govern, speak. I am as I have spoken.
Fit to govern? No, not to live. Thy royal father was a most sainted king. Fare thee well. These evils thou repeat'st upon thyself hath banished me from Scotland. Oh, my breast, thy hope ends here.
Ah, Macduff, this noble passion hath from my soul wiped the black scruples, reconciled my thoughts to thy good truth and honour. The taints and blames I laid upon myself are strangers to my nature. My first false speaking was this upon myself. What I am truly is thine, and my poor country's to command. Whither indeed before thy here approach? Old Siward with 10,000 warlike men already at a point was setting forth. Now, go together, and the chance of goodness be like our warranted quarrel.
See who comes here, my ever gentle cousin. Welcome hither. Stands Scotland where it did?
Alas, poor country, almost afraid to know itself.
How does my wife?
Why, well.
And all my children?
Well too.
The tyrant has not battered at their peace.
No, they were well at peace when I did leave them.
Be not a niggard of your speech. How goes it?
Would I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled out in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they?
No mind that's honest, but in it shares some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly let me have it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babes savagely slaughtered, to relate the manner whereon the quarry of these murdered deer to add the death of you.
My children too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too?
I have said.
All my pretty ones? Did you say all? Oh, hellkite. All? What, all my pretty chickens in the dam at one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so, but I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger. Plant not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and brag it with my tongue. For gentle heavens, cut short all intermission. Front to front, bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length. Set him.
Come, we go to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
I have 2 knights watch with you, but can perceive no truth in your report. When was it she last walked?
Since His Majesty went into the field, I have seen her rise from her bed, throw her nightgown upon her, unlock her closet, take forth paper, fold it, write upon it, read it, afterwards seal it, and again return to bed. Yet all this while in a most fast sleep.
Great perturbation in nature, to receive at once the benefit of sleep and do the effects of watching.
Lo you, here she comes. This is her very guise, and upon it fast asleep. Observe her, stand close.
How came she by that light?
Why, it stood by her. She has light by her continually. 'Tis her command.
You see her eyes are open.
Aye, but their sense are shut.
What is it she does now? Look how she rubs her hands.
It is an accustomed action with her to seem thus washing her hands. I have known her continue in this a quarter of an hour.
Yet here's a spot.
Hark, she speaks. I will set down what comes from her to satisfy my remembrance the more strongly.
Out, damn spot. Out, I say. 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, a soldier and afeard. What need we fear who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him?
Do you mark that?
The Thane of Fife had a wife. Where is she now? All these hands ne'er be clean. No more of that, my lord. No more of that. You mar all with this starting.
Go to, go to. You have known what you should not.
Oh, she has spoke what she should not. I am sure of that. Heaven knows what she has known.
Ah, here's the smell of the blood still. Oh, will all Arabia's perfumes ne'er sweeten this little hand? Oh, oh, oh.
What a sigh is there. The heart is sorely charged.
I would not have such a heart in my bosom for the dignity of the whole body.
Well, well, well.
Pray God it be so.
This disease is beyond my practice. Yet I have known those which have walked in their sleep who have died holily in their beds.
Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale. I tell you yet again, Banquo is buried. He cannot come out on his grave.
Even so.
To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come, come, come. Come, give me your hand. Once done, cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed.
Will she go now to bed?
Directly.
Foul whisperings are abroad. Unnatural deeds do breed unnatural troubles. Infected minds to their deaf pillows will discharge their secrets. More needs she the divine than the physician. God forgive us all. Look after her. Remove from her all means of annoyance and still keep eyes upon her. So, good night.
Good night, good doctor.
The English power is near, led on by Malcolm, his uncle Siward and the good Macduff. Revenge is burn in them for their dear causes. Would to the bleeding and the grim alarm excite the mortified man.
Near Burnham Wood shall we meet them. That way are they coming.
What does the tyrant?
Great Duncanine, he strongly fortifies. Some say he's mad, others that lesser hate him do call it valiant fury.
Now does he feel his secret murders sticking on his hands. Now minutely revolts upbraid his faith breach. Those he commands move only in command, nothing in love, itself for being there.
Well, march we on to give obedience where 'tis truly owed. Meet we the medicine of the sickly weal, and with him pour when we in our country's purge each drop of us.
or so much as it needs to dew the sovereign flower and drown the weeds. Make we our march towards Burnham?
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood, removed to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by, and the heart I bear, shall never sag with doubt, nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon! Where gotst thou that goose look?
There is 10,000.
Geese, villain?
Soldiers, sir.
Thou prick thy face and overred thy fear. What soldiers, Patch? Death of my soul! Those linen cheeks of thine are counsellors to fear. What soldiers, Wayface?
The English force, so please you.
I'll take thy face hence, Satan! I'm sick at heart when I behold. Oh, Satan! I say, this push will cheer me ever or deceit me now. I've lived long enough. My way of life is fallen into the sere, the yellow leaf. And that which should accompany old age as honor, love, obedience, troops of friends, I must not look to have, but in their stead, curses, not loud, but deep, mouth honor, which the poor heart would fain deny, and dare not. Satan!
What's your gracious pleasure?
What news more?
All is confirmed, my lord, which was reported.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. How does your patient, doctor?
Not so sick, my lord, as she is troubled with thick-coming fancies that keep her from her rest.
Cure her of that? Canst thou not minister to a mind diseased? Pluck from the memory a rooted sorrow, raise out the written troubles of the brain, and with some sweet oblivious antidote cleanse the stuffed bosom of that perilous stuff which weighs upon the heart.
Therein the patient must minister to himself.
Oh, throw physic to the dogs, I'll none of it. Satan, send out. Oh, doctor, the Thanes fly from me. No, come, sir, dispatch. If thou couldst, doctor, cast the water of my land, find her disease, and purge it to a sound and pristine health, I would applaud thee to the very echo that should applaud again. What rhubarb, senna, or what purgative drug would scour these English hence? Hear'st thou of them?
Aye, my good lord, your royal preparation makes us hear something.
You bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death and bane till Burnham Forest come to Dunsinane.
Were I from Dunsinane away and clear, profit again should hardly draw me here.
Cousins, I hope the days are near at hand that Chambers will be safe.
We doubt it nothing.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Ah, let every soldier hew him down a bough and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our host and make discovery in report of us.
It shall be done.
Let our just censures attend the true event, and put we on industrious soldiership.
The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang out our banners on the outward walls. The cries still they come. Our castle's strength will laugh a siege to scorn. What is that noise?
It is the cry of women, my good lord.
I'd almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as life were in't. I have supped full with horrors, direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once stir me. Wherefore was that cry?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow. And tomorrow. And tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Well, thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story, quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to say it.
Well, say, sir.
As I did stand, my watch upon the hill, I looked towards Burnham, and methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Oh, let me endure your wrath if it be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say, a moving grove.
If thou speak'st false upon the next tree, shalt thou hang alive. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Thou fear not till Burnham wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes toward Dunsinane. Ring the alarm bell. Blow wind, come, rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back.
That way the noises. Tyrant, show thy face. If thou be'st slain and with no stroke of mine, My wife and children's ghosts will haunt me still. I cannot strike at wretched kerns, whose arms are hired to bear their staves. Either thou, Macbeth, or else my sword with an unbattered edge I sheathe again undeeded. There thou shouldst be by this great clatter. One of greatest note seems bruited. Let me find him, Fortune, and more I beg not.
Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whiles I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else, I've avoided thee, but get thee back. My soul, it's too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labour. As easy mayst thou the entrenchant air with thy keen sword impress, as make me bleed. Let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Cursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man, and be these juggling fiends no more believed that palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted upon a pole, and under it, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield. To kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse, though Burnham would be come to Dunsinane, and thou opposed, being of no woman born. Yet I will try the last. Before my body I throw my warlike shield. Lay on, Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold, enough!
I would the friends we miss were safe arrived.
Some must go off, and yet by these I see so great a day as this is cheaply bought.
Macduff is missing, and your noble son.
Your son, my lord, has paid a soldier's debt. He only lived till he was a man, the which no sooner had his prowess confirmed in the unshrinking station where he fought, but like a man, he died.
Then he is dead?
Aye, and brought off the field. Your cause of sorrow must not be measured by his worth, for then it hath no end.
He's worth more sorrow, and that I'll spend for him.
He's worth no more. They say he parted well and paid his score. And so, God be with him. Here comes newer comfort.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail, Scotland! We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves and make us even with you. My thanes and kingsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honour named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off her life. This, and what needful else that calls upon us by the grace of grace, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.